Hi, welcome to Creative Learning. Today in this class we shall discuss about Atkinson-Shifrin model of information processing. Do you know Atkinson-Shifrin model of information processing? Now let's begin. Now he was a psychologist, his name is Shifrin, and he was a psychologist, his name is Atkinson. Now both of the psychologists research so many research in order to understand the memory. Why do people forget? Why do people remember? And how they forget? How they remember? After a research and efforts of them, they found a model of information processing. Most current efforts to understand human memory have been conducted within a framework known as information processing approach. Next, what do you see? A man looking at the brain, how we store data information. Is it possible to see all the information of anyone by naked eyes? Now this is me. If you look this picture 15 seconds and after close your eyes, next remember 30 days, then can you remember me? So many kinds of research have been developed in order to understand the memory. The act of remembering requires the successful completion of three processes. Do you know three processes? Three processes are encoding, storage, and retrieval. Encoding, storage, and retrieval. Encoding means code and put into memory. Means if you have to remember something, you just remember in codes. S, M, T, and next you remember in details. Types of memory codes: acoustic, visual, semantic. Next, storage. The memory you encode is stored, is already fit in our memory. If you want to recall, then it was a episodic, procedural, semantic. Next, retrieval. Next, whatever you store, you just retrieve the information in order to remember for a long time. Recall, recognition. For example, if you are moving on a bridge or a bicycle on a road, if suddenly bus comes aside you and you shock, what to do? So such a kinds of incident, if you remember, or if you are going in a car, you are suddenly raise the accelerator and forget to how to kind of brake, then these kinds of incidents will recalls you. So first what happens is the process of information into memory system is encoding. Whatever you encode, store the retention of encoding material over time. Whatever you over time rewrite, reread, rehearse the incident. Retrieve, the process of getting the information out of memory storage. Then processing, what is wrong, what is right. New rehearsing, recalling is known as retrieval. So next, this is our model of Atkinson-Shifrin model. So this model is very important to understand the interacting memory system. Now we have interacting memory system known as sensory memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory. Here is sensory memory, short-term memory, long-term memory. And information comes in through the senses. Virtually everything we see, hear, or otherwise held in sensory memory. For example, if you heard something in 15 seconds about something in your own mother tongue or any languages, then what you do? You may go to recall the concept. Now this is goes to the encoded information goes to short-term memory, and the encoded information, if you recall again and again, then it goes to long-term memory also. If you remember for 15 seconds and if you forget, then if you don't try to recall, then it goes to forgotten. If you remember something and you recall again, then it goes to short-term memory and if you do not rehearse or recall, then it goes to forgetting. You forget the concept. Next, if you retrieve rehearse, then it can be stored for a longer time. Even though you are 50 years or 90 years of age, you cannot able to forget the concept, because if, for example, if you learn alphabets A B C D A to Z, then it will be stored in your memory. If you ask a 50-year-old person about ABCD, then he able to tell and write. If you able ask the same question to an illiterate person, he could not be able to tell the answer. For example, a incident, you look here, a person is showing a knife and stole his money. So such kind of incident, this person is able to retrieve and rehearse. Then it can be stored for his long term memory. If he remember for a short time and forget, then it could not be able to recall the concept for longer time. And if he retrieve daily, on 20 on one day he remember, on up to 10 days he would be able to remember, on 30 days he would be able to remember the concept, whatever what is happened, the incident. Then the memory is stored in long term memory. So by this we understand the criteria of information processing of our brain, how our brain functions. This model is also known as multi-store model or modal model. This is very important model. If you concentrate on this model, then you could be able to understand the concepts of our brain. Thank you for watching this video. Share with your friends.